All right, guys, I'm gonna give you some advice. Let me just play the video, and I'll stop you when I'm gonna play it 30 seconds or 10 seconds.
My energy bill for gas and electricity is a little over 200 a month.
Okay, so he said his gas and electricity bill is over 200. Well, it's 238. That's what they say. Gas and electricity. I mean, obviously, that's a necessity. I would say. If you're by yourself and you wanted to coop it, but if you're doing the whole entire house, using gas and electricity, it could be, if for one person, it could be 50 all for. I'm talking about both electricity and gas. 50 to 130. But if you keep it running all the time and you do that, and you're not trying to slim it down a little bit, of course, if you want to live comfortably, I mean, he's retired, why not? That's okay. You can spend 238. That's the average, 250. I mean, and especially if you're retired, if you're 50 or older, most of the people, I mean, I can see that, because when I become that age too, I can see, like, well, I'm not going out as much, why not just be in my home, at least spend a little more, and leave the furnace running and use a little more I can see that for sure. Why not?
Our cell phone bill, and I have a new cell phone I'm paying on a monthly basis.
Now, right there, what he said is like one of the biggest mistakes. A cell phone bill that you're paying on a cell phone. Now, just think about that, because 10 years ago, that would be ridiculous. You're paying, and this is what my sister does too, and it's the most ridiculous thing. My youngest sister, it's one of the most ridiculous things to do. I don't know why people. That's like one of the most gimmick things. Is they'll say, "Oh, pay $14 to $25 a month, or pay $30 to $40 a month for 2 years." It's just 25 to 30 bucks, and you start looking at it. It's like, oh crap! This phone cost $800. This phone cost 1,400. The new Z Fold 3 costs almost 2,000. There's a lot of special deals on them now, but the iPhone, the newest one, is the lowest base model is like $10.99 with 25 gigabytes. The other one where they boosted it up, it's like almost $16.99 or some 17. I don't know what it was, but with tax and all that, add another 200. You're looking at 1,800 for a phone. That's ridiculous. And I'm not saying anything about if you're retired, but if you are retired, what would you need with that? What are you going to use with a $2,000 phone? What are you going to use with a $1,500 or even a $1,000 phone? That's ridiculous. When you're now, if you're like your daughter's age, I can see that, because when you're in your 25, if you're in their 20s or 30s, and you're doing all this kind of social media, you're doing business, but when you're retired, I don't see why you need the latest, or like a new, that's kind of defeats the purpose, because you're not using your data, your data, what I mean, like your internet online, you're having apps, you don't use it. I know what you're saying. I know what you all guys are saying. Oh, this guy, I'm using my but if you go to your settings and check how much your kids use, your kids that are in your 20s, or even the teenagers, look at the hours percentage that they use compared to you. It'll be about 15 times as much that they use, because they're always on their phone, just checking it, looking at it. If you're in the car ride, if you're here, if you're there, I mean, it's almost burned into our brains to use the phone, to look at it every minute. I've watched this YouTube video, and I picked up my phone 3 times in the first, how many? In the first 3 minutes of this video, look at that. In the first 3 minutes of this video, I have picked up my phone 3 times. So every minute I'm picking up my phone, I put it down, and a minute later I'm picking it up, because I want to say something on social media, or I have to check this messages, or I got to check my app, I got to check my banking, we're doing online banking. There's a lot of stuff that I'm kind of trying to go through all this. Okay, let's go on.
So it's around 150 a month. Cable, and
the insurance is pretty good. I mean, if it's just one car, it's a little high. You got full coverage, but if you have 2, or it just depends. But depending, it's just sometimes it's just better to be safe than sorry. Of course, the TV 202. I mean, that's just the TV. That's the way they do it now. They're charging. If you have TV, if you have the bundles, it's cheaper in the long run. But I mean, it's expensive still. I mean, I wish that it would be because those companies are making a lot of money. I mean, watching TV, yet they're charging this. I mean, I've seen it everywhere. Now, if you cut it down and just use like streaming services, I don't know if that's something, but there's a way to cut down that and get rid of your TV. When I talk about TV, I'm talking about your cable, your satellite. Just switch to like a streaming service. You know, you can start switching to different ones. You know, they got, you know, Hulu, they got HBO, they got Netflix, they have Paramount, they have all these new ones. They have like 12 of them out there right now that are really pretty established, have a good base, and you can just switch around. You don't have to get them all because some of them cost $7, some of them cost $12 a month. But you know, you can switch around. I mean, and sometimes if you want two or three, I mean, and then not have to pay all that full price. I mean, it helps everyone out. If it was necessary, you know, you might say, oh, it's just it would just be a, you know, $180 savings but you know, every 100 counts. Every 100 counts. I guarantee you. Every you know, if you need to save a little, $100 here, it does count. It does add up. You know, 50 here, 80 there. You know, let's just add that 30, 80, and 100. We're already at a what, 210, whatever it is. You know, still saving here and there.
Internet is around $200 a month. We put everything, all of our purchases for food and entertainment on a credit card. That can range anywhere from $3,000, maybe $2,500 to clear up to $6,000. That's pretty much it. We have garbage.
Up to 6,000. Holy smokes. I can see that. I mean, with the food and all, I mean, you know, a food bill can be $500 to $1,000 easily for one or two people. Easy. Depends on where you eat. You know what I mean? If you have a family, I mean, believe me, you have to eat 3 times a day or whatever. Or even if you eat once a day, it's expensive. You know, spending $600 a month. You know, I mean, it's food. What can you do? Just cut down a little if you want to cut down. But I mean, most people won't. It's hard. So I know what you know. Entertainment. I mean, do you really need to go to the movies? Do you really need to go, you know, driving around here and there and go shopping and get the latest clothes? I mean, really, you don't have to do that at all.
And our water bill.
Now, with all that added, you know, the utilities, water, you know, that stuff, I mean, it's usage. You can't really do too much about bills and stuff like that. But, I mean, to looking at all that, the entertainment part is one of the biggest issues where all their...
Phone bill.
Hold on.
I have a new cell phone I'm paying on a monthly basis. It's around $100.
So this whole thing about entertainment and the groceries, I know the groceries is a lie. I think it says what's it say up there? $250. I know the groceries, that's a lie. $250 on groceries. Come on. And that's a month. The $250 on groceries, that's a lie, because even if you spend $10 a day on groceries, that's $300 a month. There is no way, and that's for one person. There's no way that's even possible. The phone bill, I hope that's not for one person, but if it is, that's way. Well, I mean, that phone that you're talking about, but that's how they get you. That phone bill is way too high, way too high. That's about 3 times higher than most, and I would say 4 times if you're really trying to save. That's at least 150 savings there. Entertainment, if you said it ranges 2 to 6,000, I mean, do you really need to entertain? I mean, you're living life, you want to enjoy, but I mean, why can't, you know, going out to eat, you know, why is it that you have to go to the mall and go shopping and spend, you know, $500 here, $200 there, $300, $600, $1,000, whatever it may be, you know? And it's not about not living life, the money that you make. It's about why indulge, you know. And even in the Bible it says, I think something about I don't know what the verse says, but I remember it says glutton. Don't be a something about when you're eating, don't overindulge yourself, you know what I mean? And it doesn't mean by that to overeat. It doesn't have nothing to do with that. It means to take more from other people and not give back, you know. So for entertainment to spend 2 to 6,000 for your own, you know, enjoyment, you know, instead of doing that every so often, you know, if you do it every day or every week, cut down a little, and you can see a big difference in that.